And welcome back to our 70-star tournament. I am Electric, and here with my co-commentator Thero, we are pleased to bring you Cheese versus Drogie. Thero, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I feel like I just saw these viewers just a minute ago. Good to be back in the booth with you, sir.
Absolutely. The sentiment is the same for myself. Now, before we get this race super started, I want to do a real quick shout out to Vi.GG, our primary sponsor. Go ahead and type !bet in the chat if you're interested. I mean, great guys. Like they're a really great website because you're not really betting against the house. You're betting against other people. It's not like casinos where, the house always wins. You really are just, betting against other people. You're wagering, hey, this runner I think is better. I think he's got it. So
Right.
definitely go check them out.
I could agree with that. Lots of people are betting so far, and this is the match to bet. We've got Cheese representing Counter Logic Gaming, CLG, and we've got Drogie representing Drogie. It's going to be awesome.
No doubt about that. Both of these players opting for Japanese, despite earlier we noted that Drogie may have potentially lost a race due to his preference for Japanese, since it was about a second apart or so.
Now, I did get some information earlier that Cheese has been having issues with his U.S. card, and that may be why we see him running on this Japanese version right now.
Oh, true. That is a good point. I just figured it was due to familiarity.
Heading in, they're going to be pretty evenly matched here, so that's good. Let's see if they have that talk with Lakitu here in the beginning.
We already see a difference in Lakitu skip strats. Both of them skipping by him, not paying him any mind, not even thanking him for the hard work he does with their cameras. Let's see if they at least treat the bomb-bombs a little bit better.
All right, heading through in, not having that talk with Lakitu. Gonna bully some bomb-bombs to get through the jail grate back there. Drogie getting a little bit of a lead over Cheese. Now, both of these racers, as I discussed before, have already ran at least one today.
Ooh, and Drogie getting bullied by the bomb-bomb rather than in reverse. He should have spoken to Lakitu at the beginning. That may have saved him from that. But let's see how the second attempt goes. Cheese, of course, clean as a whistle. Okay, gets the bomb clip. Very nice from Drogie. That first little touch, maybe the first bomb was just angry. Maybe he was having a bad day, but second one seems to have been listening a bit more.
Maybe. She's taking the lead right there.
Yep, and going into the Princess's Secret slide with it, chat, post your guesses. Now, Cheese has had a 12-6 and a 12-7 today. I'm going to say he's just going to count up. I'm going with a 12-8. What about you, Thero?
I'm going with the 12-7, right in the middle.
Definitely fair. And Drogie entering at the same time. So I'm going to call 12-8 for Drogie as well. At least one of them should get a 12. Oh, Cheese getting that bonk. That's going to cost him the 12. 14-2. Now, there's something you don't see every day. That bonk is rough.
Drogie looking much better with a 12-5.
Oh, my God.
Very solid.
Absolutely. That's got to be a nice confidence boost going into Womp's Fortress. We see Cheese spinning that star. You have a little bit of a moment to breathe before starting with this just absolute festival of insane strats. Let's see what Cheese chooses to do first. I'm thinking he'll go with Cannonless again like he did earlier. We see Drogie entering as well. Yep, Cheese going for that Cannonless. Now, earlier he used the sock folder setup. I'm wondering if he's feeling himself. Nope. Going to be doing that sock folder again. Doesn't feel like dealing with the possibility of texture setup failing on him.
At this point, I don't blame him. He had a solid run earlier. Very consistent, and you go with what works. You continue to do with what gives you those W's.
Absolutely. Drogie going for Owless instead, but super clean execution. I mean, definitely, I think that confidence boost from the 12-5. Owless is a hard thing to do, and getting it just like as smooth as he did, I think that's a good sign. Ooh, and she's missing the triple jump to get Owless. Going to have to go back up there. That's going to bite into his lead. Drogie going for texture setup. We saw him have problems with this in the previous race. So we'll see what happens here. First try, the lead is almost nil for Cheese at the moment.
Now, this is a must-win for Drogie at this point. We saw him lose earlier against Kopitz. In order for him to stay in the game, this is a must-win. Cheese already has 2 wins under his belt. He'll most likely be moving on to the bracket portion of this tournament. But Drogie has the win over Cheese. That's kind of a tall order.
Absolutely. I mean, when you're going against the world record holder, even if he's just holding it by over like a little under a second, due to Tago's performance today on his PB, you know, you gotta have those nerves going. You gotta be at least a little bit scared because I mean, he's got all that experience under his belt. See,
for sure, these 100 coins go hard on you.
No doubt, but it does seem Cheese is, you know, a little bit loose at the moment. Ooh, Drogie taking that bunk, barely able to get off that moving platform before it sent him to his death at 81 coins. That would be a rough one to take. Meanwhile, Cheese, you know, having a couple of issues, went a little bit too far on that arrow, but didn't have any cycles to make, so it didn't really impact him. But, you know, a little bit shaky from both of these guys on this 100 coin, but luckily they both get through it. Drogie losing a few seconds due to that bonk, but at least it wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Not at all. You know, Drogie is going to be doing whatever he can to get that advantage over Cheese, for sure. Cheese, we saw in his last run earlier today, very consistent, did make small mistakes, but was able to keep it together. Looking pretty good, getting through Womps, still very, very early in this race. But this is the reset course, for sure. The reset kingdom, as I like to call it, around the Thero household.
Absolutely. I mean, this place is so compact and it's been just so deeply analyzed that the level of optimization that you need to get a decent run is just insane.
Going to see that big daddy Womp at this point.
And take note, I mean, lack of medical insurance, you know, Womp not able to take care of his teeth as well as he should, but this is really just a reminder, kids, the best maintenance is preventative maintenance. Brush those teeth, floss those pearly whites, and you won't have to deal with the problems Big Daddy Womp's having to deal with. And we need to make a little note on his eyes, too. He definitely delayed that visit to the optometrist, got those eyes pointing in different directions, big bloodshot red. I mean, you know, he's definitely got a little bit of work needing to be done.
For sure. Got the big band-aids on the back. That's probably from those Mario ground pounds over and over and over again. Cheese heading up in. Gonna go grab that top of the tower star. Triple jump dive and very smooth.
That's that clean execution we know Cheese for and love him for. Drogie going for the same. Let's see how he executes this tower. Nice triple jump dive, side flip. Yep, about the same level of execution from both these guys. Now, we're seeing Cheese going in for his second slide. He's definitely going to be trying to redeem himself from that 14 earlier. I'm going to go ahead and slide my bet down just a bit for a 12-7 on this. What about you, Thero?
He's going to redeem himself. I think it's going to be a 12-6.
Let's go ahead and see how this dive works out. It's right on the edge. Let's see. 12-6.
12-6.
Thero with the script. Yep, the updated copy of that script. Looks like Drogie may have hit that wall a bit early on his entry. I'm still saying a 12-6, 12-7. 12-6 from both of our guys.
Solid performance for sure.
Commentator attempting to make 2 guesses, going over his daily allotment.
Ooh.
Now we see Cheese going into wing cap. Now, Drogie's got to be feeling at least a little bit nervous going into wing cap. Last race, he took 2 deaths here, lost about a minute. So let's hope that he got some better luck this time. Cheese with that just smooth flying, making those arcs perfect. Ooh, and Drogie missing one of the twins already. Let's see if he can at least finish out. You know, I mean, as long as he doesn't miss anything else, he's still in decent shape. But he misses one more coin, it's trouble.
That's going to be about a 4-second time loss going through as Cheese is heading up into Dark World, widening this lead for Drogie.
Ooh, nice side flip going back into that star there. You know, I was actually kind of thinking he was going to, you know, go all the way around and then try to do the standard dive setup. Forgot that the side flip existed.
For sure. It's all about adaptation.
Absolutely.
She's a master here in Dark World. Did very well earlier. Getting a ledge grab there.
And you know something? He took that ledge grab earlier in his...
He did.
kind of interesting, repeating those mistakes from his race with Shams. Let's see how he finishes this out there. Drogie has a good start. Probably going to be able to avoid that ledge grab, hopefully. Nice. Let's see how he handles this elevator. Definitely on pace for a nice little Shigeru cycle.
Cheese wrapping it up, grabbing that red coin, heading up top.
Going into that first off fight, and you know something? I really wonder if anyone in history has ever died to this first Bowser fight.
I'm sure it's happened. I'm sure it has.
I mean, you'd think it must have, but then you think about the fight, he moves so slowly, doesn't really do a whole lot. You know, maybe if someone just didn't really figure out that you were supposed to, you know, tilt that control stick in that fast circle. But I mean, with the range of those bombs too, these are like the enhanced range bombs.
The enhanced range bombs, for sure. That extra hitbox help here in Dark World.
Now, Drogie, actually not getting that throw far enough or at the right angle, and not even needing to throw, just kind of turning Bowser a little bit, and he goes right in.
Heading into Sky Jump at this point. Cheese taking it easy during this run. I don't blame him. He's widening that gap. He's outperforming Drogie at this point. Drogie's got to be feeling the pressure early on in this match.
Definitely. And I mean, for Drogie, it's a little bit hard to do that in-depth analysis because his previous race run just a couple of hours ago had just such a bad start to it. He's got to be at least feeling better because of that. But then the fact that he's going against Cheese, I'm not sure if that fully offsets it. It's interesting to think about how exactly those two forces are going to balance and potentially cancel each other out.
For sure.
Now, Cheese going into CCM, nice clean old sky jump. Drogie, nice clean sky jump, having a tad of trouble with that ground pound there. Now let's see how Cheese handles wall kicks will work. Earlier, he got this just first try, seamless. Drogie having a bit of trouble with the angling on actually getting to the star. So let's see how this goes for our runners. And wall kicks do work for Cheese.
They do. We've seen runners struggle with that today, but not from Cheese. He's bound and determined to put the last nails in Drogie's coffin here.
Yeah, already, just 11 minutes into the match, he's already out for blood, which, I mean, I'm not surprised. We'll see if Drogie can pull this off. Yep, nice little sliding motion there. Perfect. And Drogie having much better luck with those wall kicks than his previous race.
Having a talk with that Mama Penguin, getting that star for a reward, but then we come back and the Penguin is back on top. As I like to call it, the negligent parent mountain.
Although, you know, I just started thinking about it. What if Mario is asking that Mama Penguin for coins for saving her son? And he gets so fed up that she doesn't give them to him that he just brings him back on his own. Maybe it's not a negligent mother we're looking at, but Mario just exercising that sociopathy. He's going for that genocide run in Undertale, but in his own video game. Meanwhile, Cheese completely skipping that safety red, feeling himself on this slide. He's actually going for, looks like CCM 17 rather than CCM 18.
Going for CCM 17, a little bit safer. You've got a couple of options later on down the road, but you don't have to race the Penguin. The 100 coin doesn't have to be as precise. There are more backup options for you. So ideally, you want to end this with 88. Cheese is, 98, so that you can get that red coin here at the end. Gonna go ahead and grab this red up here, spawn the star, and grab both these stars and move on.
Yep, nice routing from Cheese, and we actually see Drogie going for that same CCM 17 route. Now, I may just be confusing it with another race, but didn't Cheese actually go for CCM 18 earlier?
I believe that he did, so we're seeing a slight variation. Maybe he wasn't feeling it.
Ooh, and Drogie taking a bonk and actually taking a death at the end of that slide. That's going to cost him a lot of time. Right on the end of that 100 coin at 98 coins. Man, that's rough.
You're looking at close to a minute of time loss from this, because he's got to go all the way back around the outside of the mountain. all the way down, grab the coin again, teleport back up, and then all the way down the slide again. Wow.
And that's all just from a slightly early jump on the end. That is insane.
Bonk, ba-bonk, bonk, bonk, ba-donk-a-donk is what that was. That's what we're going to call that. That's official terminology. Copyright.
Yep, trademarked and everything. Go look it up in the dictionary. Merriam-Webster 2019 SM64 edition.
Drogie going back through, he's got to be in his own head right now, just as as Cheese is running through BBH, making short work of it as usual.
Yep, going ahead and taking care of that boo on the roof before he takes care of, you know, that bookcase star and moves on down into the basement for himself. Now, Drogie having better luck this time, still going for that moonwalk strat despite it costing him dearly earlier, but you know, I guess you really can't blame him. With time loss like that, you are kind of already looking for places to save time. I mean, if I were Drogie right now, ooh, that synchronized star grab. If I were Drogie, CCM would be covered in salt rather than snow right now. I mean, he's got to be just feeling it.
For sure. Absolutely.
And so they're effectively trading places. Cheese going down this hallway while Drogie goes up it to enter into BBH himself. Let's see how Cheese handles shifting Sandland. Let's see if he tries to go for double pillarless to fulfill that star that he missed by doing CCM 17, or just saves it for later. But first, a little rabbit needs to find its home.
Love that punch grab. I love it. Love the punch grab. More difficult on the Japanese version, but Cheese is no stranger to the Japanese version of this game, having the 120 world record on the Japanese cart.
Exactly. I mean, that's something like that. You know, when you get used to Mips going one speed, it's definitely hard to make that mental adjustment. Drogie seeming to have a bit of issues with the big boo.
What's going on? Kind of playing with him a little bit, having to wait for him, being up top, waiting on that star.
You know, and it looked like he was in danger of actually sliding off the roof at one point and missing the ground pound to boot. Meanwhile, Cheese with a super clean pillarless. You know, a lot happening on both sides of the screen at the moment. Now, this is important. Whatever Cheese does on this re-entry kind of decides how exactly he's tackling the rest of this route by doing CCM 17. And so he's not opting for double pillarless. So what are you thinking? THI reds, SL reds?
I don't know if you missed that. Cheese running up the side of the column there, not aggroing the fly guy, and still able to pull off the star. Interesting movement from Cheese. That's Cheese flexing a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I didn't actually catch the lack of aggro. It just looked normal to me. So thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, that was wild. By not aggroing him, it's so much farther away.
Right, and typically if you hit that left side, even if you're on, you know, the side that's facing Mario, that fly guy will aggro. But Cheese very, very quick on the draw. Super flexing, super flexing.
Exactly. Now, Drogie joining him down in the basement, and we can kind of see just how much time that mistake in CCM cost him. 4 stars back at the moment, about to be 3 for just a moment. Cheese opting for the same order on Triple L as earlier, starting with those red coins. Now, what do you think about this? Because personally, I would want to save red coins for last. You know, maybe do the log rolling first, throw in the bully stars, and then go ahead and do the volcano. Just because getting the volcano out of the way early, I think, is really good for mentality. Drogie with a nice start to pillarless.
It all depends on how confident you are with your lava boost at that point. Like, if you're fairly confident, you know, that long jump lava boost or your triple jump, whichever way you decide to go through, if you're confident with that, go with that. A lot of folks like to go with their more least confident stars to be able to knock them out of the way. Cheese getting the bottom of those poles, running through and grabbing the star.
Beautiful lava boost from Cheese. Beautiful lava boost. Beautiful pillarless from Drogie, not having any major issues. Very quick clip into that top of the pyramid. Say that 20 times fast. Quick clip.
Quick clip. Quick. I can't do it. Drogie getting that talent star, having to back it up here.
Oh, and taking a death in the quicksand instead. Just barely short.
He's got to be feeling it for sure at this point. You can see in the top left-hand corner, Drogie's only got 6 lives versus Cheese's 8. He's already taken a couple of deaths. And they're not quick deaths. You know,
Not at all, especially that CCM death.
Drogie trying this once again, able to execute the correct way to get that Talon Star from good old Klepto.
And oh,
And
she's taking
Cheese.
a bug there right on top of the elevator star, taking a death instead. You know, normally volcano deaths aren't super costly, but being right at the end there, that's gonna cost him.
For sure. Still got a sizable lead over Drogie at this point. But yeah, I mean, what you have to understand is you're not just costing yourself that time, you're also costing the mindset of getting into a rhythm and grabbing these stars and getting out.
Exactly. And I mean, that, you know, I'm sure that right before that happened, mentally, he was already out of the stage prepping for the bullies next. But, you know, suddenly that wrench in his plans, you got to that just snaps you out of the zone that you may have developed for yourself. And it's hard to recover that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Cheese heading over to go see some bullies.
Having some good luck with that first bully. You know, we never really see runners have a lot of trouble with that. It's really the triple. Just depends on how those guys happen to be feeling at the moment.
Now, if you remember earlier in Cheese's earlier match, he was able to execute all 3 of the small bullies. Let's see if he can manipulate them into lining up for him once again to get that triple. Drogie heading into that hot log rolling star, trying to make up time here. Those deaths really cost him, but it's anybody's race at this point. Even the most experienced runners have issues in Tippy. It's super scary, super intimidating. Up, only getting the double here, following up with that quick kill of the last one, and grabbing that star.
Yeah, one of those bullies definitely, you know, having a bit of an issue going into that lava. Maybe he's just a little bit too warm, bit homesick for, you know, his volcano home. I don't know.
Maybe.
Although if he were homesick, wouldn't he like the lava? She's opting for early HMC. This is interesting.
Different routes, and this is what I was talking about. It's all about that comfort level. It's all about, you know, what you're thinking, and with Cheese's lead that he's got right now, he's going to go, I think, for the easier quick kill strats versus the high risk, high reward strats.
Definitely. If he's watching the stream and he saw that death in CCM, that probably solidified him deciding to do early HMC, if I had to guess.
Drogie getting
Nice
that triple.
So making up a little bit of time there.
Feel a little more confident with that backflip right into the star.
Wow. Showboating for sure.
You've got to at this point. It's the only way. You've got to keep your spirits up. That's the only way that you're going to stay consistent. The only way.
Yep. Now, we did see Cheese with that very nice Dory grab. Nice Christmas miracle from him. You know, we've actually been seeing a lot of those first try early Christmas miracles today. Drogie just barely getting that ledge grab to avoid that burn. Let's see how he handles lava boost. And
and
just
he
barely short.
Dies once again in the volcano. Let's see if he's going to play it a little bit safer. He knows he's got to make up time at this point. Long jump across, going at it again, misses again,
Has
and
that
pauses.
frustration pause. And now Drogie actually saying behind the scenes that he's having trouble with his angles on his controller, it seems. Now, last race, he was talking about having a few issues with side flipping on his steel stick, and so he switched to OAM, had a bit of a rough start to that race, so switched back to steel stick. So he's having like just this adjustment period between 2 different controllers, and I think that's really why we're seeing this kind of movement from him at the moment.
It's rough. It's rough when you switch between controllers. Even if you're going from one Hori to another, the angles are not the same. So getting recalibrated, getting your head back in the game is the key for him right now.
Yep, now we see Cheese finishing out HMC super handily, not getting toast righted by those boulders, not punching Toad, feeling a bit more peaceful now. You know, he shoved those bullies into the lava, but I guess that got the anger out of Mario. Meanwhile, Drogie going for that elevator start. Let's hope that he doesn't make the same mistake Cheese did on that ending. And he does! Commentators curse fully in effect today. Man!
So many deaths at this point. I believe that brings the death count up to 4. He's got to be feeling it. Not moving at this point. Maybe taking a couple of seconds to breathe before going back into LLL and trying this once again.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm not sure of. I mean, you got to get yourself recentered as soon as possible, but knowing how soon DDD is, well, then and taking a balk early there, but at least it doesn't cause a.
Ooh.
But he still dies. That looked intentional almost.
Saying he's having side flips issues on this controller. He may still be working on that same controller from earlier. Can definitely see the frustration in Drogie's run. Just as Cheese is wrapping up the chests here in Dire Docks.
Oh, and Drogie's still missing that elevator star. This is rough. He's having to take an intentional death. Now, I'm not sure if that saves time over just going to the top and taking that long jump from the other star at the top of the volcano. But,
Wow.
I mean, this is rough. Cheese an entire level ahead. We got to assume that Drogie is going for that HMC early. Okay, Drogie getting that star, able to make his way out of LLL, but after a lot of expense.
If I was in Drogie's shoes, I would be going upstairs at this point. He is going to go through HMC, but I would almost like to get my behind upstairs, get recentered, get my confidence back, and then come back and hit HMC.
Yeah, although where would you get that extra star from? That's the thing. Doing the CCM 100, geez, making front sub eat lag.
You
That
do have
sentence
that
was
ability.
terrible.
Don't forget, you've got THI Reds, which are a viable option if you're comfortable with it. You've got Snowman Land Reds. You've got very quick stars. Looks like Drogie having an issue grabbing that star.
Yep. What I meant though was he didn't have 30 stars at first, so he couldn't go through the star door without using MIPS clip or something similar, which is kind of a decent amount of time. So kind of having to do HMC. So I mean that's HMC pretty technical stage. You don't want to go in tilted at all. A lot of fast stars, but stuff like triple box jump, if it goes wrong, it can go wrong.
Speaking of going in tilted, you have the opportunity to check out our sponsor, Vi.GG. Check them out for sure. You have the ability to bet. Now, as you mentioned at the beginning, it's not about betting like against the house or anything. It's like almost player versus player betting. Check them out, Vi.GG. Make sure you're of legal age and of legal country. There is a special offer going for GSA. They're sponsoring the prize pool. Vi.GG. Cheese missing that coin. Almost taking a death here in Fire Sea. Early Ellie's looks like it's going to be out of the question for him.
Oh, completely so. And I mean, that is a rough start to what is a very, very technical stage in this run. He's just cannot get that recovery. Could not get the wall kick there, having to take that extra burn. So he's gonna have to make sure he doesn't take another burn by accident, or let that muscle memory take over. He's got a little bit of a buffer. Ooh, and taking a bonk off the Ellie's, that's potentially gonna cost him. Let's see if he's still able to make this cycle.
Now that is, if you look on the 70-star guide, that is it's a beginner strat to do a long jump across, depending on where the cycle is at the elevator. So you really do risk a bonk there if you're off by just a little bit. Cheese getting the burn here. And
yeah, but
playing it safe.
Ending, fortunately.
Definitely playing it safe for sure. Gonna spawn that star, getting that wall kick, grabbing the star, just as Drogie is trying to beat down HMC.
Yep, and you can see there on the Rolling Rockstar still having trouble with those side flips. They're just not quite working out for him for whatever reason.
Alrighty, Cheese. Talking to Bowser for the second time here in Fire Sea.
Spinning him by that tail, that's gotta hurt. But
misses.
Oh, that hurts even more.
Wow. Gonna have to try again here. That is a large time loss. Having to wait for Bowser to come back up and reset that stage as he gets it for the second try. Are we seeing cracks at this point? Is this Drogie's opportunity? He is one stage behind, about 4 stars. But he's still not out of it yet.
Not at all. I mean, if he does, if he either gets front sub or just goes for rear sub, even he takes time save over Cheese there. If he gets early Ellie's, that's more time save for him. I mean, Cheese gave him ample opportunities in this Fire Sea room in order to try to catch up at least a little bit. So we'll see if he's able to take full advantage of those.
Cheese headed upstairs, going into his favorite course and mine as well, Wet Dry World. Let's see what he's got. Just as Drogie rocking it in DDD, trying to catch up. Now, we saw Cheese do this before. Going up, knocking out the elevator star first with that triple jump wall kick onto the elevator. Very consistent. And it's all about setting the angle for these wall jumps. Very nice.
Yep, and I mean that's a good start to get out of the way pretty early in Wet Dry World because there are a lot of ways that it can go wrong.
Quite a few for sure. Drogie heading up to the rear of this sub, getting caught up on the fin a little bit and missing that side flip. Just gonna kind of kick up. I don't blame him. Just make it through. Having issues for sure.
Yeah, there's
with side
definitely
flips.
yeah, there's something going on that relationship between player and controller just is not there.
She's headed back through once again. Looks like he's going to go ahead and knock out Wet Dry World 100. Foregoing that coin, he's not going to have a safety coin going up. Let's hopefully RNG and see if RNG is going to be good to him. Spider right next to the box. What's going on here?
Yeah,
Lighted it up
definitely
for him.
not treating him super well, unfortunately, but rest of this is looking pretty good. Coin box kind of, throwing him for a bit of a loop. Now, Drogie entering his own Fire Sea. This is an opportunity for him.
It really is. We saw Cheese lose time here in Fire Sea, missing that coin right below Drogie right now.
Drogie getting it. Okay, so he has an opportunity to make up a substantial amount of time. I believe Cheese missed exactly one LE cycle, so we'll see if he's able to catch early LEs, potentially even with Lava.
Cheese, once again, electing to just go ahead and throw that Chuckya. Getting very lucky with that RNG.
Drogie getting Lava Boost, able to make that early cycle. Okay, it is major time save time for Drogie. Able to even get that good ending without a single burn. Oh man, this Fire Sea from Drogie was beautiful.
This is what Drogie needed. And I don't know if he's watching. He only had 2 lives left, so grabbing that extra life there, I don't blame him. Ooh, and he runs off the edge.
Yeah, I think he was just a little bit too close to the edge and that angle wasn't quite right. But with the rest of that Fire Sea, I mean, doesn't have a whole lot to complain about there. Now, let's see if he's able to get Bowser throw first time. Now, you do have to remember these guys, to save that little bit of time across the run, they are purposely choosing the continue but don't save option. So that's why Drogie picked up those lives. If it's a game over, it's a race over for him.
For sure. Cheese taking the long way to get into the big side of THI. A little bit different. I don't think I've seen that in any of the races that I've commentated so far here in this 70-star tournament. Going for what looks like THI Reds, a 120 Classic.
Yep, we'll see how he executes, but if the rest of the performance is like this, I mean, he's got it. Yep, just golden on that.
Like butter. Very easy. Push through, got the star, just as Drogie's heading into Wet Dry World.
Definitely took a page from Tribe Called Quest right there. Smooth like butter. Now,
Like butter.
let's see how Drogie handles his 100 coin. He went for the... Okay, got one box kick. Let's see if he can get the second one. He went for these in his early... Okay, perfect. He went for these earlier, but missed the second.
Look at that RNG, the coin bouncing right into his path, his safety coin there. Very nice RNG from Drogie.
Let's see how the box treats him. Definitely better than Cheese. Missing one coin, but that's okay. Got the safety, just handed to him pretty much. So let's see how he closes this out. Ooh, the zapper getting him. That is I mean, you really can't avoid that. If you hit the zapper right at that point during his cycle, he's right in the way of where you need to be.
Yeah, getting amped by the amp, you know, you don't normally worry about that amp. Look at this. Attempting that side flip again, having an issue, falling off. He seems to be having some major issues with side flips in this match. He needs that coin. And he needs that coin. Wow.
Oh, man, this is getting pretty rough for Drogie. I mean, it started out very solid, but ultimately, you know, it's not going super well for him. Able to avoid these zappers at least. Okay, so at least he's done with the 100 coin. But I mean, just look at the star differential. 7 stars behind at the moment. He's got his work cut out for him for sure. Meanwhile, Cheese going ahead and going into the the top of the mountain.
I love this clip. Bloop.
Yep, just
slick.
Splashing right up on top. Do you ever know how that clip works?
Now, I'll tell you this. The clip is it's almost special because at the end, if you clip through, you'll find yourself dragged down into the water. It works by, you know, the animations of Mario is similar to how TTM works, where you're jumping up and you're punching through or diving through to be able to get into the water. You're able to pass through these barriers that would be here because of the Mario movement animations that allow you to get through there. If you notice, going into that clip, it's a rollout that happens, a very specifically timed rollout to be able to clip right up top. She's executing perfectly on there. Jeez, he went for breezeless last time. He's going for it again.
Ooh, and missing the wall
He
kick,
did
so
miss
going
it.
for that breeze instead.
He's got the time at this point. Time is on his side. I do love the 180 turn back into the star. Still looks really awesome as Drogie is struggling to get up this elevator and get this star.
It just cannot get those wall kicks to work for him at the moment. I mean, he got them to work for him in CCM, but that may have just used up all of his wall kick luck.
Wow.
She's going for these red coins now. This is a super Monka-esque moment, honestly, especially those mushrooms at the beginning. Once you get here, it's really hard to lose more than a few seconds at a time, but on those mushrooms, oh, and missing the red coin, gonna have to go back all the way up.
Wow.
Commentator stands corrected. This is the biggest mistake you could make on this second half.
That hurts. That definitely hurts.
Honestly, because you really don't have enough time to realize what's happening until you've already made that movement down to the mushroom.
All right.
So Drogie going into his own THI Reds, identical routes from both players.
Cheese at this point knows that he has that lead. It's growing. You know, Drogie right now is very hot and cold, having issues with the side flips here. So kind of playing it safe. Cheese going for that mountain clip, headed right through and straight up top, right below the monkey.
Drogie just cannot get up to the secret hole though, and remember, even once he gets up there, he's still got to complete that level. And last race, he did actually fail. So, wanting to make sure that he's a nice distance away, finally getting into that hole. The only thing worse would be him taking a death here. Commentator's curse. Let's hope doesn't take effect.
Looks good from this point.
We've
Grabbing
broken
that
the
last
curse,
coin.
people. We've taken that voodoo doll, just burned it while Cheese is executing this next log kick.
Alrighty. Grabbing the top of the mountain star here, just as Drogie's heading back into THI, a full course ahead at this point.
Yup, and I mean, he can definitely let out his breath now. He's got those 2 mountain clips done, and that's a super stressful point in that in TTM. So all he's got left is this box jump, I believe, and you know, this one, once you put all the practice time in, it's pretty reliable. She's again making sure he's got the setup right. You know, he knows he's got the time, doesn't want to waste any time on deaths.
Taking it easy at this point for sure. She's heading out to Snowman's Land.
Now let's see if he can get the head as clean as he did earlier.
Going for that deep freeze star first.
Very
Knocking out
nice.
quick kills.
I believe I
Ooh,
mentioned this earlier.
Drogie getting caught by the Chuckya.
Oh,
and
and
thrown
it's
all the
chucking
way
him.
down. All the way down. Gonna have to make his way back up. It's just not working out for Drogie for sure.
Yep, an unfamiliar territory. This is a backup that I doubt he's practiced. You don't expect to end up there trying to get to the top of the mountain.
You don't. This is not something that you typically look at and say, hey, whoops, I need to learn how to back this up. Attempting this triple jump to get back up. It's almost safer if he does that triple jump and gets that ledge grab. Gonna try a different approach here. Losing a ton of time just trying to get back up top. You can see the frustration with the pause, not able to side flip.
And that is a long frustration pause, too. I don't believe I've actually seen one that long yet. Okay, let's...
Staying away from that Chuckya.
And she's definitely widening that lead, potentially getting all the way up to 2 stages ahead. This is hard.
She's taking it easy, not going for world record pace, just slow and steady, just pushing through, trugging through, and finish. That's what it's all about.
Exactly. And I mean, from Drogie's side, I'm not sure if he's using the steel stick or the OEM controller, but he's only had that steel stick for a couple of weeks. So if there's any lesson to be learned from this, it's do not try to race on something you're not familiar with.
Right. She's going for these Snowman Lane reds.
Now, I find this interesting. He already went for THI reds. What is he going to be skipping with this? Is he actually going to go for Stomp on the Thwomp without 100 coin?
It's kind of early to say at this point, but different route for sure.
Ooh, he just went back into Snowman's Land. He's probably, having that thought process about... Oh, no, he still had the Bully Star. My bad.
The Bully Star to finish up.
I was thinking that he had the muscle memory from the HMC late route and was going back into exit.
Pushing through, chugging ahead. Cheese gonna be the first to head up into Tippy at 41 minutes.
And by 10 stars as well. This is wild. But I mean, Drogie, with those major mistakes, it's a lot of his gameplay has been really solid. It's just been those moments where he's had a flub that just snowballed into something else.
Right.
I mean, that Chuckya issue definitely could have been a little bit mitigated if he just kind of went around from the beginning. Now, she's going for Lakitu bounce. He had some issues with this earlier. Okay, gets the bounce and makes his way onto that pole, not even making Mario freak out, not making him do an aerobics routine.
He has that time to make sure that he secures himself on the pole, taking those extra couple of kicks to get up just a little bit higher to grab the pole at the bottom, not at the very bottom, to where Mario does the wah freak out. I think Lunar Jump does it the best. The wah 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 wah. I love his impression. Yeah, something like that. Drogie, triple jump up top. Just as Cheese is working on these tricky triangles. They don't seem so... Ooh, maybe they are tricky for him.
Oh, no. Falling down to that bottom. Still got the time to get up there, but man. Looks like Commentator's Curse back in effect. Took a little break, taking that vacation, while Drogie honestly needed it. So, back in full force.
Drogie headed to the box. Going for this very safe setup here. I like this setup. It's super consistent. It does take a little bit longer angling on this side of the box, getting the camera right, but it's definitely the safer route.
Definitely worth it, especially if you're in Drogie's position right now. Now, Cheese getting that swinging in the breeze start very handily. I think that he actually only has the red coin maze left just because he didn't need it as a backup.
She's headed back in right now. Just as Drogie dies, takes another death. It has been death after death for Drogie in this run. The luck is not on his side. The RNGesus is not on his side. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's not talking to Lakitu. Maybe it's controllers. It's something going on.
Yeah, maybe he just somehow deeply offended the Mario gods. Who knows?
Maybe.
Although, I didn't think that they were such a fickle bunch. So, definitely would have had to do something very heavy. You know what? He may have praised Sonic before this match in some way. That could have been what cost him.
Maybe.
Ooh, and
Oh,
almost
Drogie!
running away from that star.
Drogie was having issues on those reds with the small bonks all the way up, and then almost jumped straight past the star, narrowly avoiding another death.
And that's a death that he just can't take. None of these deaths are deaths that he can take anymore. What is he doing? Just what?
What? Commentators confused what's going on. Cheese still chucking along with this TTC 100. Didn't mean to go back into TTM. He was already done. It's much easier for him to die. If he would have exited course, he would be starting all the way back downstairs and have to come all the way back up.
Right, definitely a smart choice from Drogie, despite it not making sense at first. Now,
Ooh.
Drogie going for that snowman's head and couldn't quite get that jump to get up. Oh, just having so many problems, not even where people will traditionally have issues. That wall kick at the end is traditionally where people will mess up.
Cheese was having issues with the coin there, trying to get away from it, able to grab it right before it fell off. Was worried about his angle for that invis wall dropping down to the last box, or the second to last box there, but was able to make it happen. Wow.
Exactly. I mean, that is a lot of skill to be able to execute that. And you got to be ready for stuff like that. The coin RNG from the boxes can definitely bite you when you least expect it.
Looking at 64 stars here for Cheese as he's working on his TikTok clock, taking almost to death, able to recover it.
Beautiful wall kick recovery, but just to die again.
Good recovery, but was not able to recover for a second time. Gonna go at it one more time here.
Man, that was pretty wild. Let's see. Okay.
Drogie working on these SL Reds.
And she's opting to go ahead and take care of his Reds in TTC before anything else.
Very different. Very, very different.
Now,
all right.
Let's see how he finishes up TTC. If he goes for a top-down, bottom-up approach, let's see what happens.
He still has the Toad Star. Going into moving at this point. Let's see what part of the ice cream he's going to be biting off today.
And he's going straight for that tippy top, not bothering with biting off the bottom. And you know something? People criticize eating an ice cream cone bottom up. There were these ice cream cones when I was growing up that they sold at school that you could bite the bottom off and suck all the ice cream through the bottom, and it wouldn't make a mess at all. It tasted good. It was good. So, maybe it doesn't quite sound as dumb as you think to eat an ice cream cone bottom up.
But wouldn't you have to wait for it to melt?
Not a whole lot.
A little bit?
I mean, the freezers weren't exactly the best. I didn't go to one of those rich schools.
Oh, okay, I got you. That's fair.
Yeah, see? It's a little thing.
Coming up with interesting ways to eat ice cream. That's what we do here at GSA, twitch.tv/speedrun. As Cheese is headed back into TikTok clock, moving. Only got 3 stars left, one of them being Toad, so he's going to grab a hand here, and then I don't think that he got...
roll into the cage. Or was it a time jump?
Time jumps. I don't think he's gotten... He got pin in the pendulums. He got get a hand. He got rolled into the cage. I don't think he's got time jumps. Drogie there getting the wah wah wah.
Yeah, but I mean, a first try Lakitu bounce, that is definitely what Drogie needs. I mean, if he has any remote hope left in this race, it lies with just executing everything beautifully like. So yeah, definitely going for those time jumps on moving bars that aren't even moving. A bit of a misnomer in 70 star.
Alrighty. Cheese grabbing his last star here. Gonna talk with Toad.
Going into bits. Now, we saw Cheese in his earlier race make a couple of flubs on bits, not costing him a whole lot of time. But let's see if he manages to handle it better this time around. He's got the time to mess up pretty substantially. So we'll just see how it shakes out.
Drogie doing very well on those reds here in Rainbow Ride. an entire TTC to make up as Cheese is heading upstairs.
Ooh, deciding to
What is
show off
this?
the BLJ. Oh,
Okay,
deciding
well,
not to.
good. BLJs are banned in the 70-star category. Not authorized for use.
Yeah, and being cheeky there, but I'm not exactly sure how that would have played with the rule set. So I guess it's definitely a good thing that he didn't actually take off with that BLJ.
All right, Cheese heading up. He's not having to go the quickest pace as possible. He's taking it easy, going up that right side again. Didn't work out for him the first time. The last up, and did not work out this time. Gonna go for it again and falling all the way down.
Wanting to showboat, but ultimately, this course is showing him. And he's still okay. Maybe nope. He's still going for that right side. He is bound and determined to execute right side.
Right now, he's got the time. He knows he has the time. Failing this a few times, falling all the way down, not taking the death.
Are we seeing? I mean, this would be wild if Drogie manages to come back due to Cheese just trying this strat over and over. If he goes for this again, that'll be insane. And he is.
Another pause from Drogie, most likely trying to reset his controller. Cheese falling once again. What's going on here? Drogie jumping off the side. Commentators have no clue what's going on in this race anymore. Lost all control.
Exactly. Why? I just wish I had a megaphone that could reach all the way to Spain and just yell, "Cheese, do left side." What is happening?
Bound and determined. Again, he's got plenty of time. Drogie taking another dip. What's going on here?
I'm at a loss for words. I'm not even able to get full syllables out anymore.
Drogie, not sure what he was going for there. Wasn't able to get the angle.
And she's finally getting that right side, but I mean that's almost a bit mean, going for it so many times just because you've got that time.
Well, he knows he's got this time, and I guess he said, you know what, we're gonna do this right, bubs. This is how this works.
I could see it. Cheese wanting to be the most precise man possible at this game. So, maybe just wanting to make absolutely certain that everyone sees that he can do right side. Maybe it was a bit of a pride thing. After one miss, he was like, having some issues with this swinging in the breeze star, having to go way out of his way to do that fire jump.
Well, if you noticed, he grabbed that one up. He was at 0 lives. He would have gamed over, and no one is saving here. So you game over, you're done.
Although I find it odd that he's choosing not to save there. I mean, yeah, the race is near its end. Cheese finishing up that Bowser fight. 3 clean throws right on. Got himself a high 51, just barely missing 52. Cheese, how you doing, bub?
Good. How are you?
What happened at the end with going up that right side? You were bound and determined for real.
Yeah, I don't like left side. Well, first things first, I hate bits no reds. It's the number one thing I hate about this game.
Yes.
And second thing I hate about I don't like left side either. So I was determined to do right side no matter what.
And that's fair. In 120, you're getting those bits reds. I believe in your earlier race chat was talking about that, how Cheese was going to do without getting those bits reds, but you were able to pull it out. Awesome run for sure. Very little mistakes from you. Drogie, I guess, was having issues. I don't know if you know this with side flipping throughout the race. Did you know anything about that?
Not at all. What happened? What do you mean?
He was, with his controller, having issues with side flips. I guess he was having issues earlier on in the race, so he's been struggling a little bit. In TikTok clock right now, 1 life left.
Yeah, and sorry to interrupt, but he just took a huge dive at the end of that 100 coin.
Wow, that was a cool backup. What was that?
That was pretty cool. Now, that's what I wanted to ask you. The backup here in TTC, you get the wall kick, you're safe, and then fall off again right after that. What happened with that?
I'm trying to remember what happened. Yeah, I guess I just tried going fast, so I didn't stop, so my angles were bad. So
That's fair.
I just went right away without thinking about my angle.
Channeling your inner Ricky Bobby. I guess that's what that is for sure. But done great today. You're moving on in your group in the bracket. Who do we need to look out for? You know, we know that Tago is no longer in the tournament, but we got some really big names. Who are you worried about coming up? You've got Super Viper, who's been playing incredibly consistent. You've got quite a few people to kind of keep an eye out for. What do you think for the rest of this tournament? What's that picture look like?
I think my number one pick or my top picks for this tournament are Triforce and Super Viper for sure.
Oh yeah.
I've noticed that they're like the most consistent racers by far. They're the most enthusiastic, most consistent, most level-headed. Like they have a really good mindset for racing. They always perform really well in the races. Those two are to look out for. Toast Rider, Toast Rider's really. I realized Toast Rider's good under pressure. He's good in like really the late stages, and he likes to play around in the beginning, but when it's serious time, he just destroys everybody.
For sure. And I guess it depends on what movie he's watching during the race too.
Right, that too. Well, other than that, of course, it's Puncation and who else? I'm missing somebody, aren't I? Paracusia as well, I believe.
Paracusia is in there. Lunar Jump. You got Lunar Jump.
Also, Although I must say, I don't think Paracusia is that good of a racer, at least yet. I think his mindset is kind of weak for the races. Shoutouts. I mean, shot fired.
Shots fired for sure. What about Benji? You know, young guy, up and coming.
Benji's good too. Yeah, that's a good point.
He's showing him skills. You know,
Benji's good. He's an upcomer for sure.
Someone to look out for. Lots of options going into the brackets coming up soon. You have those options to choose from with Vi.GG. You can bet on these races as long as you're of legal age and legal country. You can make bets on any of these. And you hear Cheese, the world record holder, saying right now it's anybody's tournament at this point. Anybody's tournament. So, well, good. Cheese, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We're kind of running short on time here. You mentioned Toast Rider coming up next. He's going against Paracusia.
Oh, that's gonna be a really good match.
It's gonna be a great match. Get your bets in now. Vi.GG !bet. You want to check out the schedule? You want to check out the bracket? All you got to do is !schedule !bracket. I'll tell you, electric. It's always electric when I'm by your side here in this booth, sir.
Absolutely. And that energy is shared. You know, Thero, I feel like I'm in the presence of a pharaoh anytime I'm in the comms with you, man.
Well, I can't take the puns, dude. I'm leaving.
Well, right before you dip out, Cheese, I gotta ask, Mario turning around that endless staircase, what was going on with that?
Yes, oh, that was the other thing, yeah.
I wasn't playing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. We were yelling about the BLJs. No BLJs. Awesome.
Yeah, the commentators told me while I was doing it, so they helped me out. I was gonna get DQ'd. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
Sure. Well, viewers, you've got to stick around. One of the races of the century coming up. Toast Rider, Paracusia, head-to-head, shots fired from Cheese. Stick around right here on twitch.tv/speedrun. Thanks so much, and we'll see you soon.
Peace out, everyone. All right, now we do have Drogie entering Bowser in the Sky at the moment on the introductory phases of the stage.
We want to show Drogie some love here because this is true dedication at this point. He could have thrown in the towel He could have finished it up saying, you know what, I'm beat, I'm done. But he's finished this with his controller issues. We're going to come back in and let him finish this run. That's the best thing to do for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, the dedication from this guy is wild. After all
Phenomenal.
of these debilitating mistakes, where anyone else would have gotten sick, thrown their controller across the room, maybe smashed their console, he just powers through it, takes a couple seconds with those pauses, and just comes right back in. So,
You know,
first successful Bowser throw.
It's tough. It's rough. You know, going through and not quite knowing that you didn't perform to the level that you wanted to, knowing that you're having hardware issues, and yet you continue. You continue.
Exactly right. Now, Drogie finishing up that Bowser fight with his third throw, actually clutching in under an hour, which with all the stuff that has happened through this run, a sub-hour time is really, honestly, pretty great.
It is for sure. Well, so he has finished up 59:40. Drogie, the dedication, you know, it was a rough race. It was rough for you, but we admire that dedication of you finishing up this run.
Yeah, at the end, I just wanted to finish it and get done with it. I'm sorry for the inconveniences, like having to wait for that long and stuff. I know better next time. And yeah, GG to Cheese, of course.
I love you.
Yeah, not much more to say here. Yeah,
Showing
maybe like
the
I can
love.
afford getting such a time against Toast Rider in this tournament, but not against Cheese, of course. Against Toast, you could maybe win with a 59.
Shots
history.
fired at Toast.
Wow. But again, it depends on the movie, whatever movie he's watching. But good job for sure. We saw the struggles. The struggle was real, but it really takes a lot of courage, and we admire you for finishing up, posting up against Cheese, which is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, thank you so much, and yeah, GG again, Cheese and Copits, and good night, I'd say.
Awesome. One more time, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, throwing it over to Big Simp and Pity themselves. Going to commentate this awesome race coming up between Paracuzia and Toast Rider. Shots fired for sure. Electric, once again, thank you so much, and we'll catch you guys on the flip